There are coins that the US Mint claims they minted, or there's mint records that they were minted, but none have been discovered. And if you found one of these, you would be an instant millionaire, maybe multimillionaire. Let's take a look at what coins I'm talking about. What we're looking at here is a Daniel Carr Fantasy Strike. This is not a real coin. This was overstruck on an actual peace dollar. However, the US Mint did mint 316,076 1964D peace dollars, and every one of them was melted down, at least according to mint records. You're not allowed to own one. If you would have one, it would be confiscated. The thing about it is that these were put in bins to be melted, and the bins were weighed down to the gram, so that if the bin was off, 26 grams or so. Now, I'm not saying they use exactly grams, but I'm just saying to me, that would make sense. That they would know one of them had been pulled out of the bin. Now, is it possible that someone had a regular peace dollar, a 22 or a 23, and they could have replaced it and put one of the 64Ds back and it's hidden someone's house? It's very possible, and that's actually the thought behind this, that someone might have one of these. But so far, no one has found one to exist. And if they did, even though if you was allowed to own it, you would be, who knows what it would sell for, $1 million, $2 million. It doesn't really matter, because you wouldn't be allowed to own it. So really, in theory, you would be a millionaire, but not in real practice. So I'm getting off topic a little bit, but in my search for a 64D Carr example to show everyone who's watching my video, I run into one on CoinFacts, on PCGS's CoinFacts, a 1964D regular strike. Now, this is supposed to be a conceptual image. Okay, so it's a conception, basically. It says view more images. So I'll click on that, and no images available there. But if you click on the regular image, you get this. So evidently, this is a recreation of a 64D. Maybe they modified this area. It looks like there might be some lines. It's possible. I can't get any larger here to tell, but it looks like everything's pretty good. They did a really good job if they created this, because it looks like a real coin. Makes you wonder, but this is probably what it would have looked like. It's possible. But although they could have changed the minting process from 35 to 64, because 35 was the last year, who knows? But this is a nice looking coin. It'd be pretty cool to see one of these. Next is the 1895 Morgan dollar. Now we're looking at a proof with a mintage of 880. Now, there is a mint record that says there was 12,000 1895 business strikes, which was made for circulation. Now, that would be 12 $1,000 bags. Now, there's a couple theories here. One is that it was just a mistake, a clerical error, or they were all melted down. It wouldn't take much. There's a lot of Morgan dollars melted down by the bags, so 12 bags wouldn't have been a whole lot to melt. So, I mean, to us it is, but back then it wasn't. So that's the two reasons, or at least two theories that is out there about what happened. But no one has ever discovered an 1895 business strike Morgan dollar. There's altered mint marks. You have to watch for that. There's fakes. You have to watch for that. And there might be a fantasy piece out there, but not one has been authenticated. Then we have 1873S half dollar. There were supposed to be 5,000 minted according to mint records. Now, we're looking at an 1873 Philadelphia mint, and just showing it as an example of what a 73 half dollar looks like. But none have been found. No one's discovered an 1873 San Francisco mint with an S mint mark, and that S mint mark would be right here. So we don't know if they still exist, or if any exist at all. It makes you wonder, who was the last person to handle one of these? Was it a mint employee, and then they just was melted down, lost to obscurity? I mean, 5,000's a very low mintage, but it's not as low as some other coins. There's some seeded dollars that are lower than that. There's some gold coins that are lower than that. So they still exist today. So it's possible probably the whole entire mintage was either melted down, or, like I said, clerical errors, or misattributed on the mint records. Who knows? Then we have an 1873 S seeded dollar. Somebody mentioned this in the comments yesterday. This would have had the mint mark in here, right in this area here, but this is just a 73 Philadelphia as an example. There's no 73S seeded dollars discovered. There were supposedly 700 by the mint, reported by the mint to be minted. So all 700 of them are gone, or maybe someone has one. You never know. It could maybe one of them was spent and it's somewhere to be found by a metal detectorist, or in an old desk drawer, or in a wall. Who knows? But it would be unbelievable to find an 1873 S. That would be a windfall for somebody. But we're talking about winning a Powerball probably 3 times in a row. So that's what the odds are on finding one of these. Then last but not least, but as far as mintage is concerned, yes, 1841 Liberty $5 gold. 50 are reported to have been minted. 0 have been discovered. That is extremely rare to begin with, and anything could have happened to these. With only 50, that's crazy. But no one's ever found one, just a mint record that they were minted, and that's about it. Now, this one is a Philadelphia, using as an example. Here's the O. It just makes you wonder. Some of these, probably the last time they were touched by a mint employee, they may have never left the mint they were minted at, and then until they were melted down, wherever they melted them down. Sometimes they use contracts with other companies and things to help do that. So these are all of your coins that are known to have records to be in existence at one time, but no longer exist. No one's discovered these. So we have the 64D Peace Dollar, we have the 95 Morgan Dollar, the 1873S half dollar, the 1873S dollar, and the 1841 $5 gold piece. In the next video, I think we're going to look at the unique examples that are out there, the ones that have been discovered that only one exists. So be on the lookout for that video. So thanks for watching my latest video. I hope you enjoyed it. This really fascinates me and gets my mind to churn and thinking about, hey, man, it'd be great to find one of these. What if one of these, just happened to come in? What if somehow, some way, it was wrapped in tissue in someone's shoebox in an attic or something, or a basement or an old cellar? Who knows? There you have it. Coins that are supposed to exist but have never been discovered up to now. So please hit the sub button and the bell to get all notifications, and have a great day.